How does a baby get sent home with a stranger from daycare? It's what we've all been asking since it happened last week. Families tell us the issues at that centre run much deeper, but when we tracked down the boss, she wasn't keen for a chat.
Oh, g'day, Trisha. It's Lauren from ACurrentAffair.
The potty-mouth childcare boss in hiding after a baby was mistakenly taken by a stranger.
I really think parents have a right to know if their kids are safe at your centres.
After seeing everything I saw and seeing how it was just compassionless, I didn't want to be a part of it.
A parent's worst nightmare unfolded last week when staff at First Steps Learning Academy in Bangor in Sydney's south mistakenly handed a 1-year-old baby to another family's grandfather, the child missing for 2 hours.
What went wrong, Trisha? What safety protocols do you have in place at your childcare centres?
I found her quite intimidating.
This former employee quit her job at First Steps Bangor after just 1 year.
They work you long hours, and then when you're meant to finish, because of ratios and lack of staff and too many kids, you have to stay back all the time.
The organisation has been advertising for workers at multiple First Steps locations since the baby mix-up.
The staff are usually frazzled when we turn up at the centre. There's a huge casual pool of staff, and that's quite unsettling for the children.
It's hard to build trust.
Absolutely.
This mother's 4-year-old son attended First Steps Bangor until recently.
We actually don't even blame the grandfather.
You blame the childcare?
Absolutely, yeah. I blame Patricia.
How does the wrong child go home with a complete stranger, Trisha? Are children safe at your childcare centres, Trisha?
The grandfather arrived to collect his grandchild from the nursery room at First Steps Bangor at 3:40 p.m. last Monday when staff handed him the wrong child. He'd been admitted through the doorbell system. According to owner Trisha Hasty, strict child collection protocols weren't followed. She's since apologised to the families affected and the wider First Steps community.
ACurrentAffair has spoken with the mum, who is too distressed to be interviewed on camera. The matter is now in the hands of the Department of Education, which is investigating First Steps Learning Academy for multiple alleged breaches.
This is a really serious matter, Trisha. It could have been a disaster.
Patricia Hasty and her husband Andrew own all 11 First Steps facilities across Sydney.
My name's Trisha and I'm the approved provider of First Steps Learning Academy.
But it seems Trisha only likes to front the camera on her terms.
Trisha is here hiding out in her car, making phone calls. We just want answers. Parents want answers. Maybe you can give us a little bit of information on the safety protocols that are in place at First Steps.
It doesn't feel like they really care about you learning or the children or the families.
It was enough to see this former worker leave the industry altogether.
We were all outside and this child wasn't listening, and so then she picked him up and she put him inside the classroom and closed the screen door and the sliding door on him. And I watched this and he was just crying and he was screaming, and I was saying to her, I'm like, you can't do that, open the door. And she's saying, no, he's not listening.
So a staff member locked a small child in a room by himself as punishment for misbehaving?
I guess so.
Wow.
There was no lights on in the room either, it was dark.
Trisha Hasty denies the allegation, but the Department of Education says the matter was substantiated and the centre was issued a compliance action.
My son was pulled very vigorously by his hand from inside to an outdoor play area, and that didn't get reported for 7 weeks.
You as the mum were not informed of an incident that occurred for 7 weeks?
Yeah. I didn't even know to check and get scans or anything. Like, I didn't know if it was hurting him for a long time.
The Department of Education formally investigated the incident. Trisha told ACurrentAffair the centre reported the event the day it became aware, and the delay doesn't reflect withholding information. The former staffer says she'd been interviewed by authorities in the past in relation to other alleged events.
I had two superiors stay in the room with me and watching me the whole time, so I never got a chance to actually say anything.
You were scared to speak up?
Yeah, I was worried I was going to lose my job over it.
You're a mother, Tricia. Put yourself in those parents' shoes. How would you have felt if it was your children?
Shielding herself behind tinted windows, Patricia calls for backup. Within minutes, police arrive.
Yeah, I want to see it shut down. I don't want any more parents sending their children to these places thinking that they're cared for and looked after and safe when they're not.
Crazy that it could happen. And today the New South Wales government introduced new urgent reforms for the sector, saying it will provide more transparency for families and safety for our kids. Coming up.